Thank you all for coming here, I appreciate it. I was introduced as a person that sort of runs the Rally Choppy Show, and I'm not really. I'm the guy who sort of arranges it all. I'm the face of it. I'm the guy that makes all the arrangements and makes the phone calls and the bookings and all that sort of stuff. The events happen because of the committee that's behind me. So I'd just like to mention that when you go to these events, yeah, you see me boring everybody to tears, but the guys that make these things happen, most of them are here in this room now, which is James, Julian, JC, Ken, Ron, and up until recently, Lawrence. So yeah, these are the guys that make it happen. Oh, and Jamie as well, but Jamie's not here, sadly. So yeah, those are the guys that make the decisions, and I just sort of round them up and keep them under control, really. Looking around the room, I can see there's a lot of people here from the good old days of our events, the chopper event, which goes back to sort of like 1999. I didn't actually join the scene until about 2008, I think Julian worked out. And I think it was, at the time I was in the motor trade and I was more into sort of customising cars and things, and I used to work on the road quite a lot, and I came across this event for like choppers and things. I thought, we'll see what that's about. And I went out and I couldn't believe that such a scene existed for what was essentially kids' bikes, and I'm really glad that it does. And I didn't think that sort of like the best part of 20 years I'd still be here, let alone be a sort of person that's involved in sort of making the arrangements for the shows. If we think back to those shows years ago, a lot has changed. Rob, you were mentioning not so long ago about the fun we used to have with the space hopper racing and fire bike, jousting, which just seems absolutely ludicrous at the time now, but at the time it was great fun. Many a rib was broken and a lot of fun was had. Sadly, the sort of health and safety and the public liability insurance and all that sort of stuff means that we sadly can't do that anymore, but that doesn't mean that we haven't continued to have a great event and welcome new people to our events as well. Picking up on that, I mean, every year I see new faces and I see new people coming to the events and coming to our shows and things like that, and I think that's essential, because if the only people that care about these bikes are the people that remember them when we were kids, this scene won't last that long, will it? Let's face it. So, yeah, we are, mate, sadly, yeah. So, and that's where sort of Rally's recent recognition of the fan-led scene that we are into really helps, because it gives people the opportunity to just go out and buy something that they may have always wanted, or something that they may have had as a kid. And not everybody has the skills to be able to get a bike that's been at the bottom of a river 20 years and restore it. So they really do have a place in our scene, I feel, and I think it's great that Rally are continuing to produce these bikes for us. And the attention to detail just is astounding. And I learned so much from just that presentation there, just the amount of stuff that's been made from scratch. You just don't realise. You can't just go to a supplier and say, yeah, I'll have one of those luggage racks, because they just don't exist, do they? A lot of effort goes into making our events happen, and you'll hear me going about it all the time, about the finances and put your hands in your pocket and stuff like that. But none of us do this to make money. None of us make the events. We do it for the love of the hobby. We do it for you guys. We do it so that we can have fun and just enjoy the brand. Rally have been fantastic in helping us lately, both financially and both by supporting us with adverts and promotions and things like that. And it's really important that that continues. And the reason these events happen is because of everybody in this room. Literally, you all contribute to the events taking place and the continued success of these bikes. I think really what I'd like to finish on is just to say that, like, we really do appreciate what Rally have done. That's coming from me and coming from us all here, because as I say, it does help people continue to come to our events and continue to support them and grow. And without that support, it just wouldn't happen. I'd also just, I suppose, like to just thank Michelle really for continuing our relationship with Rally. It took a long time to build. It was many years ago, probably about 10 years ago, the first time that Rally actually came to the field. And sadly, they came to the Friday, and it was pouring down the rain, and it was one guy, I think he was called Ben, I think he was called Betty, and it was the Days of Diamondback, and he took some photographs and he did a blog, and that was the first time we'd had this recognition, and it felt so good that we'd achieved something. Lo and behold, next year Ben had gone, and we had to start from scratch again. And I think the following year we managed to get a donation in like some packs. You might remember them. They were like a gift pack that had a calendar in, and a book, and a mug, and a keyring and stuff. And we gave them away. I think it was the first time, James, you came to one of the events, and we gave them away in the show and shine. And from then on, it just built and built and built. It's really good that that relationship continues. Again, thank you to all for coming. Thank you to my committee for continuing to make me look great when these events happen. I really am just the guy that sort of arranges this and does these silly things and makes the phone calls and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks very much.